In the mind of 17-year-old Liam, he was already a rock star. The quiet, suburban bedroom was his recording studio, his guitar was his voice, and his laptop was his portal to a future of sold-out shows and screaming fans. He was a gifted musician, and the music flowed out of him, a constant, undeniable current. The only problem was that this current was washing away his actual future. His final high school exams were just weeks away, and the scholarship he had been offered to a good university was conditional on him maintaining his grades. His father, Mr. Davis, was a practical, no-nonsense man who worked hard to provide for his family. He supported his son's musical hobby, but he had made one thing crystal clear: education was the job, music was the reward. A reward that had to be earned through diligence and honesty. But Liam had begun to live a double life. Every night, he would retreat to his room, surrounded by his textbooks, creating the perfect illusion of a dedicated student. "Just going to cram for my finals, Dad," he'd say, a practiced, easy lie on his lips. But the moment the door was closed, the math book would be pushed aside, the headphones would go on, and he would be lost for hours in a world of chord progressions and lyric writing, the silent pages of his textbooks mocking him from the corner of his desk. He hid his poor test scores, forged his father's signature on a warning notice, and built a fortress of lies around his failing grades. The first crack in that fortress appeared on a Tuesday afternoon. Mr. Davis was at his office when his phone rang. It was Mrs. Albright, the guidance counselor from Liam's school. "Mr. Davis," she began, her voice professional but laced with concern. "I'm calling because we're having some serious academic concerns about Liam. His grades have dropped significantly across several subjects, and he's currently in danger of failing his final exams." Mr. Davis sat frozen in his chair, the words hitting him like a physical blow. Failing? It was impossible. Liam was in his room studying every single night. I think there must be a mistake," he stammered. "I wish there were," she replied gently. "We'd like to schedule a parent-teacher conference for tomorrow morning to discuss a path forward. He is at risk of not graduating, and we felt you needed to know immediately." The rest of the workday was a blur of confusion, hurt, and a slow-burning anger. When Mr. Davis got home that evening, he chose his moment carefully. He found Liam in his room, textbooks spread across his desk as usual, headphones on, strumming a quiet tune on his acoustic guitar. "How was studying tonight, son?" he asked, his voice deceptively calm. Liam pulled off his headphones, a bright, confident smile on his face. "It was good, Dad. Really productive. I think I'm finally getting a handle on this calculus stuff." The lie, so easy, so confident, was the final confirmation. It was the match that lit the fuse. His father didn't explode. His face just became very still, the warmth draining from his eyes, replaced by a look of profound, steely disappointment. "That's interesting," he said, his voice quiet but now laced with ice. "Because your guidance counselor, Mrs. Albright, called me at work today. It seems you're so far behind on your calculus stuff that she wants us in her office tomorrow morning to discuss why you're about to fail your senior year." The color drained from Liam's face. The guitar slipped in his hands. His entire world of clever lies and secret dreams came crashing down in a single, devastating moment of exposure. He was trapped, caught in the wreckage of his own deceit, with nowhere left to hide. Liam sat frozen in his chair, his mind a whirlwind of panicked excuses, but his father's cold, disappointed stare silenced every lie before it could be formed. The game was over. "For weeks," Mr. Davis began, his voice a low, controlled rumble of fury, "I have listened to your stories. I have trusted you. I have been proud of the hard work you were supposedly putting in. All of it, a performance, a lie. Dad, I'm sorry," Liam whispered, his gaze fixed on the floor. I got carried away with the music." "You did not get carried away," his father corrected, his voice sharp. "You made a choice. You chose your hobby over your future. You chose to lie to me instead of asking for help. You have disrespected my trust, you have disrespected your own potential, and you have gambled with the scholarship you worked so hard to earn. And for what? A few songs?" He stood up, his presence filling the small room. "I have always supported your music, Liam, but I have always told you that it is a privilege that must be earned through responsibility. You have proven you cannot handle that privilege. So, it will be taken away, and a lesson will be delivered. A lesson in honesty and priorities. He walked over to his own bedroom and returned a moment later, holding his thick, heavy leather belt. It was a symbol of his no-nonsense, hardworking life, and now it was to be an instrument of a lesson his son would never forget. "You have behaved like a deceitful child," his father said, his voice now grim, "and you will be disciplined as such. You will be reminded, in a way that is impossible to ignore, that in this house, we do not tolerate liars. You will come with me to the living room and you will bend over my knee." The command was so old-fashioned, so absolute, it stripped away every ounce of Liam's rock star persona, reducing him to a scared, foolish boy. With tears of shame burning his eyes, he followed his father and did as he was told, the humiliation a far sharper pain than anything that was to come. The first strike of the belt was a loud, shocking crack that echoed with all the lies he had told. He cried out, a raw gasp of pain and surprise. "That," his father's voice said, firm and clear, "is for the failed tests you hid." Crack. The second blow landed with punishing force. "That is for the lies you told me every single night." After a firm and memorable spanking, his father stopped. Liam was sobbing, not just from the fiery, intense sting on his backside, but from the crushing weight of his failure. "Now," his father said, his voice returning to its calm authority, "your real work begins." The punishment was a complete and total reset of his life. First, his father had him bring every piece of his musical equipment, his beloved guitars, his amplifier, his recording laptop out into the living room. "This," his father said, "is now my property. It is being held in storage. You will earn it back, one piece at a time, for every you get on a final exam." Next came the academic lockdown. "Your room is no longer your studio. It is a place for sleeping only. From now on, you will do all of your studying here, at the dining room table, where I can see you. Your phone will be on this table, face down. No more secrets." Finally, he looked at his son, his expression serious. "I am not going to fix this for you. You will walk into that meeting tomorrow. You will apologize to your teachers and to Mrs. Albright. You will look them in the eye, and you will present them with a plan for how you are going to pass your exams. You will take ownership of this failure." The parent-teacher conference was the most humbling hour of Liam's life. He sat before his teachers, his father silent beside him, and he laid out his new rigorous study plan. He apologized. He promised to do better. The weeks that followed were a blur of hard work. No music, no friends, just the quiet, focused labor of academic recovery at the dining room table. His father would sit nearby, reading, a silent, watchful presence. He passed his finals, not with the easy A's of a genius, but with the hard-won B's of a young man who had been pulled back from the brink. One by one, as he showed his father his grades, a piece of his music equipment was returned from storage. The last item to be returned was his favorite electric guitar. As his father handed it to him, he gave him a single, proud nod. "You earned this," he said. Liam took the guitar, its familiar weight a comfort in his hands. He had learned a lesson that no song could ever teach him. The sting of the belt had been a harsh but necessary reminder of the price of his lies. But the quiet, steady presence of his father, the man who had refused to let him fail, had been the real lesson, a lesson in the kind of discipline and love that it takes to build a future worth singing about.